Alrighty, Knicks fans, you are up 3-1 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 5 is right around the corner. I'm hype about this team. The word that I've really been saying a lot is proud. I am proud of this New York Knicks team, and I know you are too. If you're proud of the Knicks, you're hype about being up 3-1, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, and like today's video. You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we'll do a little recap of Game 4. Then we're going to look ahead to Game 5, and we'll talk about what I think the keys to victory are for the New York Knicks. And yes, the Knicks are up 3-1. But I think the quote that everyone has to understand is, the job is not finished. Shout out to the late, great Kobe Bryant. Job's not finished. There's nothing to celebrate right now. Teams have come back from 3-1, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But what I loved after the game, where the players had their media availability and their post-game press conferences, I absolutely love what Jalen Brunson had to say, and he echoed what I said of the job not being finished. He said, it's not over. It's not even close to being over. We've got to continue to keep focusing on one day at a time. There's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to be truly happy about. Obviously, we won tonight. We are one step closer, but we got to continue to have that same mindset and mentality that we have had the past couple of games. And if you're a Knicks fan, you have to absolutely love this coming from your Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson. He has been excellent this series, but more so, I think he's had an impact on this team off the court. I feel like they have replicated his mindset, and they've just bought into the way that he plays basketball. I love this from Brunson because he knows 3-1, yes, you're most likely to win this series. 95% of series that have gone up, or teams that have gone up 3-1, have won this series. But when you look at the stats, 5 teams since 2015 have come back from 3-1. The Denver Nuggets, they did it twice in the 2020 playoffs. The Rockets did it to the Clippers. The Warriors did it to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Cleveland Cavaliers did it to the Golden State Warriors. So it is not impossible. And the fact that 5 teams have done it in the last 7 seasons makes, I hope everyone understands that this series is not over yet. The job is not done. The Knicks still have a lot of work to do, because let's say worst case scenario happens. The Knicks go back to Cleveland. They play in Quicken Loans Arena in Game 5, and it is just an incredible atmosphere. And Game 2 happens all over again. Then you're back to MSG for Game 6. And I don't want to say that's going to be a nervous crowd, but it's going to be a restless crowd, and they are going to be ready to win that game and advance in that series. I would love to win Game 5. I just want to win this series. I just hope the Knicks buy into what Jalen Brunson said and know that this series is a long, long, long way away from being over. But with that, I want to ask you guys this question. Who is going to win this series? Let's just light up the comments section with NYK. Type NYK for the Knicks or CLE if you're rolling with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me know who you got winning this series. We'll run through some numbers and take a look at some things the Knicks have to do if they do want to win Game 5. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to an awesome new sponsor we have on today's show, and that is Underdog Fantasy. Go to chatsports.com/UnderdogKnicks and use the promo code ChatNYK, and they will match your initial deposit bonus of up to $100. We've teamed up with Underdog Fantasy, the leading name in best ball and pick'em fantasy sports. Experience their extensive offerings, including daily drafts, season-long best ball, and player pick'em for the chance to win thousands or even millions of dollars. Take advantage of their seamless platform, personalized rankings, and exceptional customer service for the ultimate fantasy sports experience. Get hooked up today. Go to chatsports.com/UnderdogKnicks. That's chatsports.com/UnderdogKnicks. And remember to use the promo code ChatNYK, and they will match your initial deposit bonus of up to $100. My lineup for tonight's game on Monday night, I rolled with a little 3-piece. I got Giannis Antetokounmpo. They set his stat total of points, rebounds, and assists at 43. I'm going with lower than that. I just feel like coming off missing 3 games, having a little back injury, I think the Bucks are going to win, and I don't think he's going to have to play all that much down the stretch. I'm also going with the higher on Ja Morant's stat total of 43.5 points plus rebounds and assists. I thought he played really good down the stretch. In Game 3, he had that electric fourth quarter. I think the Grizzlies are going to win tonight, and I think they're going to be fueled by Ja Morant. And then I'm going higher on Rui Hachimura's points. They have him at 13.5. He's averaging 20 this series. So this is the lineup I'm rolling with. Maybe you want to fade me, or maybe you want to roll with me. You can do that at chatsports.com/underdogknicks. And remember, promo code CHATNYK. All right, let's get to it. Let's recap Game 4 quickly, and then we will look ahead to Game 5. The biggest keys to victory for me in Game 4 were the Knicks. They absolutely dominated the glass. They were the more physical team, they were the stronger team, and they were the hungrier team, and that is replicated and shown on the stat sheets. They out-rebounded the Cavs by plus 17, 59-42. But what I loved about the Knicks is they took care of the basketball. The Knicks just had 4 turnovers in the first half. They ended up with 10, but they turned the ball over 6 times in that third quarter, which was really the only run the Cleveland Cavaliers had. So for 3 quarters, the Knicks took excellent care of the basketball. You win the turnover battle, you win the rebound battle, and more likely than not, the New York Knicks are going to win the game. That is their style of play. They want to beat you up, and they want to take care of the basketball, and that's what they've done 3 times already this series against, I guess I should say, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got to start with Jalen Brunson, who I know it's easy to talk about Jalen Brunson. He doesn't get my game ball, but he was the best player on the floor, and he is one of the big reasons the Knicks won this game. 29 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and he finally got that three-point shot to start falling, shooting above 50%, or right at 50% for the game, and 55% from the three-point line. Seeps and I were talking after the game, and I asked him what his play of the game was, and it was that play late in the third quarter where the Knicks were down 1, and Jalen Brunson hit that step-back 3, and he just stuck it, and it put the Knicks up by 2, and they never looked back after that. Brunson set the tone early on in the game, and he shut the door on the Cavs as the Knicks won by 9 points. But my MVP of this game, and I really think you could say the guy that has saved the series for the New York Knicks, is R.J. Barrett. Type those 9s in the comments section. Show our guy Star J. Barrett some love, because after Game 1 and Game 2, he was getting yelled at. I was calling him out. He was playing like a fraud. Not in Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3, he got the tone started, finished with 19 points, and he did the same in Game 4. He set the tone. He got downhill. He couldn't buy a bucket from 3 going 0 for 6, but he went 9 for 18, which means he went 9 for 12 inside the three-point arc. He put a lot of pressure on the 10. He got to the cup. He caused the Cleveland Cavaliers defense to collapse. You saw so many times Jalen Brunson would get blitzed off that double team screen, and he'd kick it to R.J. Barrett, and then 1-2, and he's at the cup, and he made a lot of really tough finishes. So proud of R.J. Barrett. Maybe we're seeing a guy really become a star in New York. Let's see what he does in Game 5. Josh Hart continues to be the biggest X factor in this series. Another 19-point performance for him. 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Had a couple of offensive rebounds in that fourth quarter. Wasn't the most efficient game for Josh Hart. 44% from the field and 25% from downtown. But he was aggressive. I thought he really made an emphasis to get out in the fast break and put pressure on the Cleveland Cavaliers defense. A little bit reckless at times, had a couple of turnovers, but I don't mind that. You play hard, you play fast, you play smart. I'll rock with you if you make a mistake. Josh Hart, he's that freaking dude. I also thought Mitchell Robinson really got the Knicks rolling in that first quarter. Had a couple of blocks early on, a couple of offensive rebounds, set the tone. I think he's really been the best center in this series. I think he's outplayed Jared Allen, and I think he's imposed his will at points. You see the Cavs being somewhat timid when they attack the basket, and they know because Mitchell Robinson is right there. And when he's not there, you have Isaiah Hartenstein right there, who added an amazing stat line. Only 1 point, but he's not here to get buckets. He's here to create shots for other people. 2 assists. He's here to attack and dominate the glass. 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Prototypical stat line for Isaiah Hartenstein. He was electric. I love Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm proud he's a Knick, and I love the way that he battles and just plays with so much energy every game. Really, really good game from number 55. Let's go to bad to good right here. I don't want to bang on Julius Randle right here, but he has been the worst starter in this series by far. I thought he played really good in the first half of game one, but since then, he has not been good. And the storyline of the game was he was benched by Tom Thibodeau, if that's what you want to call it, in the fourth quarter. Did not log a single minutes in that final 12. But if the Knicks want to get to where they want to get to, which is win this series and compete next series and maybe win another series, Randle has to be good. He has to play better. How about we get a Game 5 Julius Randle game where he's not in the guard and he's not feeling the pressure and he just can go out there and hoop? I'm hoping for that. I really, really am, because if the Knicks want to get to where they want to be, you need number 30 to start playing like the two-time All-NBA player that he's going to be. But what I loved is Randle didn't have it, and Obi Toppin did. Obi Toppin really took the spot of Julius Randle in that closing period. And the thing that I love the most about Obi is in that first quarter, he launched a three from about 6 feet beyond the three-point arc and just let it fly with so much confidence, and it was bottoms. But in that fourth quarter, the rebounding, the defensive rebounding, the offensive rebounding. He was physical on the glass. What about that one possession where Obi was getting fouled and hounded by Donovan Mitchell, and he found a way to evade him and get to the cup and make that layup? I was so critical of Obi Toppin about being a non-rebounder, being a guy that always wanted to leak out. He didn't do that. Well, yesterday in Game 4, he was great. I'm so glad he got to close that game. He earned it. He deserved it. And credit and hats off to Tom Thibodeau. Not a lot of coaches are going to bench is the word we'll continue to use, but do what they did with Randle in Game 4 to a guy that was your only all-star and a guy that's going to be an all-NBA player. Obi Toppin, he deserved those minutes. Glad he got them. What's crazy is the Knicks are up 3-1. You haven't had a good Immanuel Quickley game. You haven't. Immanuel Quickley's plus-minus has been good. I will give you that. He's been great on the defensive end. When the Cavs went on that run, and we'll talk about Garland in a second, in the third quarter, what stopped that run is when Immanuel Quickley came into the ball game and he drew that assignment. Has the highest plus-minus of anybody on the Knicks throughout this series so far, but they need him to start getting going on offense. He hasn't had a great offensive game. Randle hasn't had a good offensive game. Quentin Grimes hasn't had a good offensive game, and you're still up 3-1 in the series. Got to be hyped if you are a fan of the New York Knicks. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'll give you my keys to victory, and we'll talk about Garland and Mitchell real quick. But subscribe to the channel, sub for Knicks playoff dubs. One dub away from getting to round 2. And we're getting closer and closer to 21,000 subs here on the channel. We're less than 250 away. So if you love the Knicks and you want to join us for our watch parties, which have been the best on YouTube throughout the series, and hang out with some pretty cool dudes, hit that sub button, sub for Knicks dubs. Donovan Mitchell was not good for the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. 18 shots, inefficient, 0 of 4 from downtown. And I know a lot of people will just say he didn't play good. He can't do that. I'm not letting him off the hook like that. What Josh Hart did defensively on Donovan Mitchell yesterday was some of the best defense you will ever see someone play on Donovan Mitchell. He had him in handcuffs. He was picking him up at half court. He never left his hip pocket. Very proud of the way Josh Hart picked up and drew that assignment with Quentin Grimes being injured and not being able to play. Mitchell did not play good, but Josh Hart really was a strong factor in that. God, I love that dude from Villanova. He is the definition of a New York Knick. Darius Garland got it going. Was not good in Game 1. He was great in Game 2. Was terrible in Game 3, but he got going in Game 4 and really in that third quarter. 23 points, 10 assists. There was like 7 straight times to start that third quarter where the Cavs were just getting any look they wanted, and it all was because of Darius Garland. They may have figured something out with that pick and roll, but once Quickley came into the game and in that fourth quarter, the Knicks really found a way to kind of stop that. Before we get to my keys to victory, I got to give some love to Deuce McBride. Only played in the first half, but he had a big 3, had a big stop on Donovan Mitchell, and he had that charge as well. Deuce freaking McBride. Deuce McBride, man. He just laced up that 3. Very proud of good old Deuce. Shout out to Miles McBride. All right, let's close out the show with my Game 5 keys to victory. Number 1, finish the job. Take their heart. Take their life. They're on the ground right now, bleeding out. Take them out of their misery. There's no reason to get back to the Garden for a Game 6. Finish the job. Win Game 5, rest your body, and get ready to roll in round 2. Key number 2, match the Cavs' energy. The Cavs are going to be playing like their season is on the line because their season is on the line. I'm expecting an effort very similar to Game 2 that the Cleveland Cavaliers put out. Expect for them to be physical on the glass. Expect for them to be contesting every shot at the rim. And I'm expecting some of those three-pointers that they weren't able to hit in MSG to fall in Quicken Loans Arena. The Knicks, they have to match the energy of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going to go back to this one for point 3. RJ versus LeVert. Both of them were terrible in Game 1. The Knicks won that game. Game 2, LeVert was great. The Cavs won. Game 3, RJ was great. The Knicks won. Game 4, RJ once again outplayed Caris LeVert, and the Knicks won that game. RJ, you're better than LeVert. We will continue to win games and win this series. Key number 4. Josh freaking Hart. Josh Hart was great in Game 1, non-impact in Game 2. He was great in Game 3. He was great in Game 4. When Josh Hart is great, the Knicks are great, and they are going to be hard to beat. Just the effort, the rebound, the hustle plays, the scrappiness, the tenacious defense he plays. He just bleeds orange and blue already. He is a huge difference maker for this team, and I'm going to say it right now. He was the best trade at the NBA trade deadline. The last key, you have to slow down Darius Garland. In Game 2, he was electric. In Game 3, he was bad. That's why they lost. But in that third quarter in Game 4, he really got it going. And what started was, in that third quarter, he came off a pick and roll. Knicks were playing drop coverage, and he stepped into a wide-open mid-range shot. And then he saw one go in, and he's like, I could do this. I could play on the road. I could play at MSG. And he did that. He's much better at home. He averages like 5 more points, and he's much more efficient per game at home back in the regular season. He was better at home in Games 1 and Game 2. Slow him down. If that means more early minutes for Quickly, if that means you got to put Deuce McBride out there for 5 minutes in the first half, do what you got to do to slow down Garland, because if Garland and Mitchell don't give you 30 each, this Cavs team, their offense is terrible, and the Knicks are going to win this series. Finish the job. Match the energy. RJ, do it again. Josh Hart, beat Josh Hart, and slow down Darius Garland, and we'll keep saying Knicks in 5. We're going to close the show with this, because I know you are. I know you are. If you are proud of the New York Knicks being up 3-1, go ahead and like this video. Job's not finished, but we got to celebrate what we got to celebrate, because it's been a long damn time. Like this video if you're proud of the Knicks. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and thank you to everybody that has tuned into every single watch party this series so far. They've been fun. They've been electric. You guys are bringing the energy. I feel like I'm at the games with this atmosphere. I love the watch parties. Love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you later. Let's go, Knicks.